Welcome back to Final Fantasy V. Guess what? We all have jobs now, and we're all blue mages for the moment, because we've got work to do. So let's go to the Wind Shrine real quick, because we've got some blue magic to pick up, and since I've only just gotten jobs, nobody has the ability to learn stuff outside of the blue mage class, so first one. Let's just take out the White Serpent, no reason for this guy to be here. Alright, punch me. Come on, do it. Doesn't matter who you punch, you coward. We're all learning, baby. Okay, well, you're no longer of any use to us. So, you do need to actually kill the enemy if you want to be able to learn blue magic, so if you get hit and die and then finish the fight, and the blue mage is still dead, you won't get the magic. Also worthy of note, you do need the spell to actually work on you, which might sound like a weird stipulation, but trust me, it's a rule you'll want to keep in mind for later. Goblin Punch is probably going to hit, so you don't really have to worry about that one. I believe I've mentioned it last time, but Goblin Punch is just a physical hit that does more damage if you are the same level as the enemy you're attacking. Moldwind, however, if he would actually do the thing eventually, has what I need here. Not critical attack. Unfortunately, you cannot get critical attack as just a spell.
Was Arrow the movie you're waiting for?
Yes.
Okay. I'm now wondering how I learned blue magic in this game, because this was at a point in time where, like, the internet was a lot harder to access.
Mm-hmm. It is very handy having a guide to go along with to find blue magic. Source, me, playing this right now. But yeah, Arrow's a very good spell that you're going to want, and as I said before, if the blue mage dies and stays dead at the end of the fights, then you lose access to that spell. You won't be able to learn it yet. But if you revive, then you will still learn it. It's very handy like that. Okay, so, next order of business. We actually want to return to the Pirate Cave for an optional scene that I missed the first time I played the game, and probably like the second and third time I played the game. However, do recall that Boko was here, and now he's not. So let's follow him inside the cave. And while we're at it, let's learn one more blue magic. So the good thing is, of course, unlike the arrow spell, which just knocked Ferris flat on her ass, at this point these enemies are just not a threat. You know, Steel Bat is stronger than Iron Bat, but until we get to the Silver Bat, I'm not threatened. Okay, there we go, Vampire. Didn't do anything because the bat hadn't been hit, so true to its name, you do damage and heal based on how much damage you do. It is also contingent on how much health you've lost as well. You're also going to want to be careful with using Vampire at certain times, though for the time being at least, use it with impunity if you want to. Alright, so, can't go in here. The pirates apparently have found a yellow bird, so let's go find that bird. No, don't eat it. You're not in a dungeon, you don't need to eat this bird.
I love that they put it in a bed.
I've put the bird in bed! Found him zonked out in the cave, so I brought him back here. But he'll be fine now that he's in my capable hands. It's me! I'm Ferris's mage healer!
I'm the Chocobo Vet! That can cure any injury or illness, but only for Chocobo! I also have to jump before I say anything!
I mean, that would actually be less worrying than if he's just the ship's doctor, but has never actually worked on an animal before. I don't know why Ferris hired a vet, but guess what? Now's my time to shine.
Well, her ship is, like, monster-powered. Maybe he's there to look after the giant serpent.
Alright, do you ever work on Sildra? This is an important question.
Probably not, but I've decided that's what he's here for.
Also, how much easier would it be to take a pet to the vet if they were the ones piloting your ship? Because you wouldn't have to worry about Sildra getting freaked out about, like, having to go in a little cage to go to the vet. You just bring the vet to the monster.
Why is Galoof seducing the monsters?
You may have noticed I've switched into my proper classes for now. Bartz will be staying as a blue mage, Ferris is a thief, Len is a knight, and Galuf is a dancer, so one of the classes I'm not supposed to have yet, but I do. The dance command can do a bunch of different things, and yes, Tempting Tango is one of them. That will confuse an enemy so that they will attack either one of the other enemies or themselves. Unfortunately, Needle didn't really do anything, and it's not actually a blue magic either, so unfortunately, it's not something that was particularly useful. We didn't have to fight the bees, but I did want to show the desert background, and also Galuf seducing a bee, because that was funny. Alright, I'm also removing attack from the rotation because it's actually redundant with Knight, since Knight doesn't really have anything special outside of its non-inherent abilities and its equipment loadouts. There's no reason to actually take a second attack. So, our next destination is Tules. Grog, grog,
grog, grog! Woo!
Immediately just settle in. I'm here too! Alright, so Ferris will be leaving the party for a little while, so if you need to change anything about his job loadout, now is not the time. No thanks. Oh, you'll be back. Oh, fine. If you're gonna be threatening about it, I'll go find the Green Horde Club. In its mysterious location of slightly to the left. No, I see that man over there. But I'm already here. You took me to it. Alright, so a lot of Final Fantasy games have, like, tiny little tutorial areas in their, like, if not starting location, then one of the early on areas. And they'll just basically teach you a bunch of miscellaneous things about the game, outside of just hit enemy until it dies. So we're getting our slightly more complex maneuvers here, such as row changing, though I've already figured that out. And the other one, well, the first guy mentioned, the aging status effect, which isn't going to be relevant for a long time. That's a very miscellaneous bit of advice. It's not even going to be useful for a hot minute.
This was the first Final Fantasy that I played, so I remember this tutorial area in particular because this was the one I absolutely needed.
Yep. Yeah, let's see, how often do they have these? I think 4 had them, at least DS had them. They'll be in the next 2 games, I think, at least. I don't remember if 8 had an area like this. I know you could, like, check tutorials on the computer, but it didn't have anything like this, which is a bit of a shame. 7 has the best one, because it's not you receiving the tutorial, or not your player character. It's the people in the particular room who want to learn from Cloud, so he's giving the tutorials. It's a fun twist to it.
If there is 1 in 4, I wonder if that was in the original version or if that was in the US version. Because for your viewers that might not know, Square made 4 a lot easier when they brought it over to the US because somebody told them that Americans were dumb and they kept believing that. That's why we never got this game. So it wouldn't surprise me if that was a thing they did for the American release and went, hey, why don't we do this for all our releases?
Oh no, betrayed by the present. It's fine, it's just a goblin. We danced at him and he died. Jitterbug is a very strong move you can do with Dance. It does a ton of damage and also heals you. It is like one of the best moves Dancer has.
It's a shame it plays like 2 seconds of music from the song every time.
Yeah, this is just, hey, you can escape from battle, but bosses don't let you run. Alright, so yeah, here's just a bunch of miscellaneous abilities you can learn from some of your classes. So we've got things to look forward to. We know a little bit more, and we can also learn here that learning is a thing that you'll be able to get from the Blue Magic class so that you can actually learn with other classes, and it is very useful.
You need to learn the ability to learn.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea to just, like, go around and grind for a bit until everybody has enough levels in Blue Mage to, just have learning. Because even if you're not planning to use Blue Magic with a character, it's a lot easier to learn spells when everybody's just waiting for it. There are some things that affect the entire party, so those aren't a big deal, but otherwise, yeah, there is a chance that you'll have a Blue Mage prepared, and then the enemy will attack a completely different character. The pub's been overrun by pirates. It's alliterative. No, I don't think any of us are drinking age except Galef, and he should not be given any drinks. I just don't trust him drunk.
I mean, you've seen how he dances when he's sober. It's only gonna get worse if he gets drunk.
Don't actually like you, but the captain does.
Man, I love the dancing animation sprites in this game. Move the legs wildly and rotate.
Well, alright then. Alright, so if you sit down on this seat...
I see you've taken advantage of this scene to canonize Lena being gay.
I mean, look, so far I've really not let Bartz be in the front, even though he's ostensibly the main character, but currently, Lena's, like, kind of our lead, being the princess and all. But also, yeah, no, that happens no matter what character you're playing as in the front. You mainly want to do that so that you can reach the piano, however. So the piano is a bit of a sub-quest we have for the time being. We suck ass at playing the piano right now, so we gotta keep finding pianos to get better. No, you cannot go to the same piano over and over again. It's gotta be different pianos.
I think I somehow did that piano quest without a guide when I was a kid. I don't know what it was about this JRPG that's just like, I'm gonna super pay attention, and I'm gonna learn everything about it.
Alright, I'm gonna go over there and look at Ferris, and he better have, like, weird rose animations around him. Ferris is just sleeping, but, like, sparkling at the same time. Well, apparently this pub is where everybody goes to learn about their sexuality.
I was about to say, like, weird theming on this particular part of the video.
So technically this is a hint, and I feel like there's a lot of ways where this is going is obvious. However, we do have this whole thing happening. This kind of weird, awkward cutscene, but at the end of the day, you basically just have the two male characters of the party look at Ferris and go, damn, he's hot.
I think it's the cutscenes like that where this game's, like, main storytelling innovation over 4. Because 4 had, like, all the cutscenes in 4 move the plot forward. There's very little character stuff. Unless they can fold it into the plot like Edward's stuff.
Yeah. That was specifically what I was going to mention.
Preempted you, ha!
God, Edward probably is one of the better developed characters of that game, though. Because he's the first one who comes to mind.
Somehow him and Tella.
That scene where he just gets his shit kicked in by an old man is just very memorable.
Yeah, You Spoony Bard is no longer a meme, but it is a thing that people remember.
Alright, so my favorite shop in any given town, the Magic Shop. What do we got? We got Fire, Blizzard, Thunder, Cure, Libra, and normally we would also have Poisona. However, we get Slow, Haste, and Chocobo, so I was slightly wrong about the, or in the bios last time, because normally you wouldn't get anything for Time Mage or Summoner at this point. I will say, Chocobo is not the best summon spell, so I still wouldn't say it's that useful to have Summoner early. Slow and Haste are actually decent bread and butter for the Time Mage, so on second thought, it's actually decent to have Time Mage early. Alright, so Weapon Shop. So if you go to one of the armor or weapon stores, despite the fact that Ferris isn't in our party, he will just appear out of nowhere, so that you don't have to move the story along to equip him with items. Which is just a good design choice. It's also kind of silly, but like, it fits this game. Ferris just comes in out of nowhere. Hey! Don't fucking buy shit without me. I might be resting at the pub, but let me tell you, I need to be well equipped.
I'm just remembering all the things about this game that are just super charming. And just, like you said, a little silly, but mostly just endearing that you'll remember.
Mm-hmm. It fits, and it's also useful just in playing the game.
I've seen people complain about other people having this mentality, but I like this era for Squaresoft. Like, Squaresoft could do no wrong at this point, as far as I'm concerned. All the Super Nintendo games they made that we didn't get were amazing. And the ones that we did get were also good. I'm not trying to imply that. I'm just saying that, like, if it's a Square Enix JRPG and it was only released in Japan, I will say nice things about it.
Mm-hmm. Also, the guy back there mentioned that apparently an upcoming monster in the canal tends to attack women more. Can't believe it, we've got a sexist monster.
Also, I think I said Square Enix instead of Squaresoft out of habit. Oh no.
Squaresoft did have just like a really good run in general, though, because they were Squaresoft for a while, and you know, you mentioned the SNES RPGs are good, and they are, but I feel like the PS1 games are also very solid, and I know a lot of people would disagree with me on 8, that's fine. I get it, but I don't know, Voidburger's been playing through Final Fantasy IX, so I've just been thinking about the PS1 Final Fantasies, and it's like, I feel like 7 has like the most deserved reputation, 8 is my favorite, and 9 is the best. That's how I would categorize those games.
Zuck!
Oh, good old Zoc. Friend of the family.
Zuck, you're distracting me. That opinion about like PS1 Squaresoft, I think, is the more like mainstream and popular opinion. Because in addition to like their JRPGs, they were also releasing games like Einhander, which like not too many people played Einhander, I think, but like good luck finding somebody who played it who didn't like it. It's also not including stuff like Parasite Eve. Xenogears. Xenogears, they were still Squaresoft. I forget when Square Enix happened. Why do all the old men jump in this game?
I was about to ask. It's just a thing old people do. Galuf, are you really old if you haven't been jumping?
Look, dancing is just a particular kind of jumping.
Anytime he has to escape from battle, he jump jives, then he wails away. Also, one thing I kind of like that, of course we haven't really seen yet, because it's early on, but I feel like Bartz has a lot of scenes where he just wakes up in the middle of the night, and he just seems like the type.
Bartz is a very good protagonist, but you have to be paying attention.
Yeah. He's very passive as far as protagonists go.
His story is based almost entirely around his character development and his relationship with his family members and his friends. Which I really like for Bartz, because that's normally what like female main characters are assigned to do.
Mm-hmm. You're the emotional one who has family involvements.
But here, Lena is trying to save her kingdom. Like, she's taking the proactive steps. Bartz is just here to like learn about love or some shit.
But yeah, no, I do enjoy that Bartz is just the type who's just wakes up in the middle of the night, goes for a walk. I don't know if it's insomnia, but he'll just get up and go around. I don't know how he does it. Even if I wake up in the middle of the night, I can't move. I'm down. It takes me a long time to not be half asleep. Bartz is incredibly powerful.
Bartz is one of those guys who has like absolutely obliterated his sleep schedule on purpose, so he just like he can't sleep for longer than 2 hours at a time or whatever. I'm trying to remember the specifics. I just remember people who like if you take naps at specific times, you like won't be tired and you will spend less time asleep. But if you miss a nap, you're like out for 2 days. It will fuck you up.
High risk, high reward sleep schedule.
It's mostly a thing people do in college because most jobs will not let you do that.
Yep. Alright, so Bartz was secretly handed the key, so let's go pick up Ferris real quick. I'm sure he'd appreciate us knocking and oh, it's locked. Okay, well, guess we're leaving without him. Well, here we go, on our journey. Let's not step on that chair, because if we do, we will accidentally get a lap dance, so just going to move on out.
A lap dance from 3 women at once, which does not actually sound like a good time.
No, that's just physically infeasible. They break the laws of physics. No, can't have you coming along with us. You stay and terrorize this town. This is a long journey, and we don't want to have this many faceless NPCs following us around. So I do wonder if I was supposed to, go back to see Boko after heading to Tules. Because there were pirates in the hideout already. But I mean, as far as I know, these guys are just staying here. Supposed to go back to base to protect the booty, but... what if we just stayed and drank instead? You know, Bart's, gotta say, ecological disasters are not fun. So yeah, this is very much the Final Fantasy I plot of... eventually the world will slowly die if you let it.
Which is something they would also revisit for 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, early Final Fantasy... well, no, a lot of Final Fantasy in general. I don't know if they've ever necessarily stopped, but... nature is very prominent in them and the protection of it. The crystals are kind of just the staple allegory for several games. Admittedly, wish that kind of was an allegory though. I feel like it would be a lot easier to just keep 4 giant crystals safe than, you know, gestures to the actual planets. Alright, well, Bartz is officially in on saving the world. As if there was any doubt. He can call himself a drifter all he wants. He's been here for like 5 minutes. And really, would Boko approve if Bart stopped here? I don't think he would. Boko would get right out of bed, find Bartz and kick him repeatedly.
Demonstrating your balance? Oh. Using the key.
Where did you get that key? I ain't telling. I'm not a narc.
Found it.
What's it to you? We can enter the canal now. It's fine. Alright, we have to fight suckers. And Swords Dance, so you're just dead. Sword Dance is basically just straight up the strongest move you have in the Dancer arsenal. It is just uncomplicated, high damage, and oh no, it's the Octo Kraken. I feel like that must be a weapon in Splatoon, right? Alright, thank you. Swords Dance, remove you. So yeah, back attacks aren't great. Don't know if I've covered them much so far, but not only do the enemies start with higher ATB so they can just get attacking you, Your row also gets changed, so all your back row people are in immediate danger. Except Galuf, I'm having him there for safety in the back, but like he actually does work better in the front row. Some of his stuff is just based on the type of damage you do better in the front. Alright, so the canal isn't too long. Now, good news, we didn't just, like, get turned to the side to block off this whole thing. Bad news, sea monster. Alright, what about our sea monster? How's she doing? Alright, so we are sucked into the whirlpool. And now we must fight. The dreaded monster. Soldier's not too happy about this.
Let me at him.
Ain't just a whirlpool. There's something in there with us. We must fight the dreaded Karl Boss, who is also sometimes known as Karl Boss. Alright, so this isn't too difficult of a fight. And of course, I also have Galuf as a dancer, so I'm doing a lot of damage. Now that being said, Karl Boss does have the ability to paralyze you. I cannot confuse Karl Boss. But yeah, Feeler is a bit of a damaging attack, and paralysis isn't great. It does take out one of your characters for a few seconds. Which is especially bad when he does that to your healer. Sorry, Bartz. We don't really have anything to deal with paralysis too easily at the moment, but it doesn't matter because it wears off soon enough. And now we're seeing one downside to the Dancer class, and that is, sometimes it just doesn't do something useful. Especially on bosses, typically Tempting Tango is just not helpful. No, it's really not helpful, Galuf. You cannot seduce Karl Boss. Oh, Tail Screw. Okay, Tail Screw does a lot of damage. Well, it's not damage, but it just takes you to low HP, so... Heal immediately. This is kind of just a tutorial on... just, hey, you should have a healer, or... It kind of just is in general. Diversify your characters, have them have a point, so that you have a healer for situations like that, or... In the case of him paralyzing you, you kind of learn the hard way what you need in a fight, and what happens when you don't have that in a fight. You will value all of your classes after they get paralyzed. Oh no! That's not Karl Boss in the Whirlpool, that's Sildra!